you say you are, we believe. Whoa.
Whose side are you on? Me or
Saga. Boom, boom. Saga. Yeah.
Team Drill or Team Drum? Hello and welcome back to the More Than Drill and Drum podcast.
The podcast where we talk about
Drill, drum, and more. I'm Tyreese.
And I'm Jemima.
And today we have some very exciting stories to tell you.
Not long ago, we were at Camporee and we've got plenty of stories that we want to share.
So sit back, relax, and enjoy this episode. Hello, Jemima.
Hello, Tyreese.
It has absolutely been so long since we sat down. Just me and you having a conversation.
On these sofas.
On these sofas.
Yeah,
like,
man.
I'm trying to think back. When was the last time? It was probably the secret behind our relationship story.
Really?
Yeah, just me and
you. Okay, fair.
Or...
Because I was thinking we were with Keita not long ago.
We
yeah.
But we filmed that in June.
Wait, can we even say when we filmed it?
Can we not?
Is that allowed?
Are we not? Are we not?
I mean, I'm just thinking, like, does it kind of give the game away as to how content creation happens?
I mean, I've kind of got like a job as well, so I've got to balance things.
It's true. It's actually true.
We spoke about this a little bit before in our pre-podcast chat.
Yeah, indeed.
We're going to give a little shout out because we have been on some adventures and there are some key people that were involved in those journeys, whether they were with us or on social media.
Yeah, it's true. We were so blessed with the company that we had at Camporee. Mm-hmm. Like the club that we stayed with.
Mrs. Saga.
They were great. Like, we miss you guys, for real. We do. Yeah, it just made us feel so warm and welcome. And Camporee just wouldn't have been the same without those guys.
So in no particular order, I'm going to start with Philippa, our host.
Oh.
We'll talk about hosting a podcast. She hosts us.
Yeah, man. It was home sweet home.
And to her family as well.
Thank you so much.
From the breakfast, from the suitcases, from the wrong direction.
Everything about that trip was just great. And we were so blessed to have such lovely hosts. Then our club. The club that we stayed with, you guys were honestly amazing. Camp
Absolutely
would
amazing.
not have been the same without you guys. And just the warmth, the care, the friendship that was so graciously offered. Honestly, I feel like I might have made friends for a lifetime.
That is cute.
Yeah.
The judges that we interacted with, 2 in particular as well for myself, and a lot more, but the conversations we had, the laughs that were going on,
honestly.
But it was time to work, but I was just laughing.
Yeah, it was just such a good atmosphere amongst those guys. And then our tour guide. How can we forget our wonderful tour guide?
That was her portion, man. It was God sent.
Honestly.
Deandra, you know who you are.
Yeah, big shout out.
But thank you for making the time to be here today. And for everyone that has been involved in the journey so far. But we've got a story to tell.
Honestly. Let's start at the beginning. It's a good place to start.
We travelled out on a Thursday. Actually, wait. My journey begins in the morning because I actually had to get myself a fresh trip.
Oh, fair enough.
So I drove down.
You got to.
And, we had the chat, me and the barber, and he was like, anything special? I was like, I'm going to Canada in a bit, man. So you better make this trip good. And he did his job, man. He did it.
As long as the trim was secured, you're a happy guy.
Then drove up to yours, and there was terrible rain that evening.
There was actually a whole thunderstorm there, wasn't there?
Yeah.
Like, lightning was flashing. I'm so sure I saw people taking pictures, like, of the lightning.
I had to have 2 hands on the steering wheel. I had no time for pictures, man. But that was an adventure. But no one or nothing was stopping me to get to where I needed to be.
That's it, because then we had to get the train. To the airport. Hang out for a few hours, catch some...
hours. Jemima, you made a whole bed on the Costa.
I mean, the sofa did what it needed to do. But yeah, it was good to just get a few hours of sleep in because it was an early morning.
It was. So we got to the airport like 10 o'clock? Or did we leave at 10 and got there like midnight?
No, we got there like 2:30.
2:30?
Yeah.
What was I doing out of my bed?
It was a late. But because of how the trains worked, we just had to have the extra time to be able to make sure we made the flight.
You know what? That just reminded me of a comment you made, because I was like, do we actually have to leave so early? And you were like, Tyreese, I'll see you at the airport if you want to get the later train. I was like, whoa.
I'll be honest, I was ready to meet you there.
But it was good though.
And we always have to allow time for the unexpected eventualities, like what we actually had. So I hope that you can see now. We had to leave early. We had to. So we get there. And then before you knew it, it was time to go check in baggage and go through security. And the security ended up being a whole saga. Now, I've been stopped at security before, and it's always minor stuff, whether it's the alarm goes off when you walk through the thing, and I'm like, oh, what could it be? What could it be? And it's always nothing. Or maybe it's like, I left my tablet in the bag instead of taking it out.
Rookie mistake,
I know, rookie errors. What can we say? But this time was another level. It really was.
Wait, am I allowed to break the NDA contract that you made me sign, or?
Which NDA, please?
So I remember I went through the gates. I was fine.
Yeah.
I'm not suspicious or anything. I'm like, yeah. And then you come through. They have to do some extra scan.
Yeah.
And then we just see your bag, and you're just like, oh gosh, like we're gonna be here for some time. And the bag just wasn't moving.
It wasn't coming down. Like usually it will go to one side and come down, or stay in the mainstream and come down. But this bag wasn't coming down any aisles.
I remember the guy was like, whose bag is this?
They asked more nicely than that.
Oh, sorry.
It was more like, whose bag is this?
And I guess, well, he did say like, it was me. And he said, can we have like a word? So he took us to
the side. Yeah, he was like, can we have a word over here? And then asked me about like the nature of what was in my bag. And I'm thinking hard. I'm like, what did I put in this bag? And then
Polaroid.
And it wasn't that. Thinking of this, it wasn't that. And then it hit me.
I'm trying so hard to be mature. So let me let you tell the story.
The realization that a
taser. Oh.
Wow.
It just slipped. You know the intrusive thoughts.
So I've got a digital voice recorder. And it's got a couple mics on the top, and it's literally just a microphone.
Allegedly.
It's a field mic. I'm not going to take the provocation. It's a field microphone. And because of the shape of it, on the scan, it looked like something that wasn't a microphone. And it was query a taser, which I was a bit baffled at the beginning. I'm like, huh? But then because it got flagged as a query taser, it then becomes this big kind of issue. Honestly, like you see, the kind of looks coming away, like, ooh, what could it be?
Can we let her into another country?
Literally, and then the whole bag was empty. The whole thing, every zip, everything.
The guy that was doing it for us, he was just cracking jokes.
Yeah, he was so nice, bless him. He was like, yeah, I've got to do this. Like, I get what it is, but I've just got to do his job.
And you hear people come over, is it really a taser?
No, it was never a taser. Yeah, so that was a bit of an ordeal. Took some time, but we allowed for these additional time delays.
So we get there hours in advance, just because of you, Jemima.
Wow. But yeah, everything was fine. And then we made our merry way to have some breakfast before getting on the plane.
Oh yeah, thank you for the experience.
We've got to make sure we're fed before we get on these planes.
Experience like that.
Yeah. Airport lounges, they're nice. Yeah, makes a difference.
Some automatic pancake maker I've never seen. Like, whoa, I'm trying to be like you, man.
Listen, we just take the blessings, man. We just take the blessings.
After that, getting on the plane, the plane it's not like what I was used to.
What you mean?
You know how like you have the aisles in the middle and it just wasn't the same type of plane. We were traveling with Air Transat. Transit?
I think it's Transat.
Transat.
Yeah.
Never heard of the airline
I
before,
hadn't heard of them.
but cheapest tickets.
Do what you gotta do.
It was just a different experience. The flight was good.
Yeah.
The food just wasn't it.
But I think aeroplane food can be a challenge in general.
I love aeroplane food.
Really?
I'm excited for aeroplane
Serious?
food. American Airline, British Airways, Virgin. Compliments to the chef.
I mean, for me, the food just does enough. Yeah.
But this one, it wasn't even enough.
Oh, I'm sorry, Tyreese. I'm sorry.
Anyways.
I thought the food was all right.
Okay.
Yeah, it did enough.
Landing was calm. No way we're just on the landing.
Yeah. There wasn't much to the flight though. Like, no drama.
Oh, you had most of the interactions with the guy next to you.
Oh,
He was good.
Yeah, he was really cool. It's nice to be able to just kind of see who you meet along the way. Like, it's a long time to be sat next to somebody to just not communicate.
And I remember calling my dad and you were talking to the person and my dad was like, is Jemima socializing already?
The trip hasn't even started. But no, we got into some cool chats about like careers, life. Yeah, it was a pleasant chat.
Now, getting off the plane, the heat just hit.
And it was wonderful.
It was. So we landed in Canada. Toronto, was it?
Toronto, yeah.
Got our bags, even though there was a bit of, are we actually going to get our bags? Because
oh yeah,
when we were flying from the UK, they were like, the plane's a bit overweight, so we're going to have to send some bags on the next plane that's going to Canada. And the thing that makes it more important, we have our camping stuff.
Yeah, imagine.
For the camporee that we're going to. So if our bags don't make it.
What can we actually do? What can we do? Yeah, for real.
We did get our bags.
Yeah, fortunately. The person we were sat with unfortunately saw their bag being taken off the plane. And it's just like,
and he had a connecting flight.
Exactly. But I hope that it all worked out.
I hope so too.
Yeah. But I've never heard of that before. Like, they'd fueled up some extra and then the plane was too heavy and it was like, well.
That's what happened. Well, let me not even say what I'm going to say in case we get get sued somehow. Anyways.
They got us to where we needed to go.
Yes. So we go through security. I don't think we had any issues with security. No,
next thing it was, we were hopping in the car.
Oh, yeah. I feel for bad.
She's great.
Yeah.
She's great.
But her sense of direction, Philippa, I'm talking to you, your sense of direction. There was a point where she was like, Tyreese, don't even talk to me for a little bit because I actually need to figure out where we're going.
You got to get in the zone.
But I do hear it though, because if Siri is not in my car, I don't even know if I'd be able to make it here today.
Are you serious?
Well, not that serious, but you know what I mean.
So you can't come for anyone else. But no, she took us around Toronto. We got to see that underground mall system, which is like...
It's basically a mall, but it's just underground and it's massive.
But it's not even one mall. I think it's several malls.
Oh.
I think she said there's like 3 malls
So
underground.
a mall complex.
Yeah, that's what it sounded like. Every so often, you kind of pass a threshold. It feels like, oh, this is a new mall. But whether it's 1 mall, 3 malls, many more malls, it's very cool.
I remember her saying that sometimes when she used to work in that area, she wouldn't even have to like see daylight.
Literally.
From the train to work, from work to the train, get her food inside, all of that.
Yeah. It's just another level. Yeah. But we toured a little bit of Toronto, went to a rooftop restaurant, and the food there was so good.
It was. I was even saying this the other day, man.
Yeah.
I actually think he ate chicken.
No, we know that tofu was
it
tofu.
couldn't have
You need to
been.
accept how well they'd seasoned
The way
that.
I was cutting it in strands were like chicken, and
it was
the way it tasted
100%
like
tofu.
chicken.
It was tofu, but they just did it so sweetly.
Jemima, between me and you, it's okay.
Tyreese, you need to accept the facts. The tofu was popping.
But it was really, really nice. Yeah. I got a chicken burger that tasted like the tofu, but anyways. Shared some fries, sweet potato fries. It was just good food all around. Man.
So then, the next day, it was Sabbath. And we were going to church with our wonderful tour guide, Deandra.
Oh, yes.
In the morning, the weather was just so blissful. Like breakfast outside, just listening to the birds. It was a wonderfully chill Sabbath
I
morning.
think I got up at like 6:30 because my body just said, you need to see this. You need to experience this. And I went outside, had fruit and Fruit Loops as well, by the way. I don't know if that cancels it out.
I'm not sure.
It was just a beautiful morning to start the Sabbath. And Deandra came and picked us up. You know, she was singing praises on the way there.
Yeah, it was good vibes, good vibes. And then we worshipped in church. Yes, we praised the Lord. No, it was a good time. And we got to meet some of the other young people at their church who was so welcoming as well. And then it was fellowship lunchtime. And like the family came over to the house, the friends came over to the house. And it was just like a fun packed house.
It was.
Yeah, like everyone's just kind of chatting to everyone. You're moving between inside and outside, just starting conversations here and there. And it was just nice to get to know some more people.
I had the best cheesecake in my entire life.
Oh, that homemade one.
Yeah.
It was a good cheesecake.
And you know how I said I wanted to go to the Cheesecake Factory or somewhere that had cheesecake?
You didn't even need to. The
The
cheesecake
Lord
came
provided.
to you.
That was amazing.
Yeah.
And then the evening, I was about to skip,
How
but we
can
went
we
to
skip?
Niagara Falls.
Niagara Falls was really cool. Yeah. That was a lot of fun.
So the American people and the American side.
Yeah, that I actually didn't know that.
Neither did
I
I.
thought it was just in Canada. But no, Niagara Falls has got two sides. One in America, one in Canada. And we walked like right near to where the big curve is, and the sound, the rain. It was just a whole sensory experience, and it was great.
And I heard Jemima got in her IG bag, so you got into your... You took some photos for Instagram.
Oh, I mean, I took the photos for myself, and if they made it to my Instagram, they made it to my Instagram.
Fair enough. And then we went on a sky wheel that we waited at least an hour in line
It
for.
was a long way, but it was worth it. So the sky wheel was basically just a big Ferris wheel. Yeah, and we got a really cool view of the falls at night. So fun fact, what is the word for this?
Illuminated?
That's the word. They illuminate the falls with red at night, so you can see them in the distance with this just red falling water, which looks pretty cool.
I don't know where the time lapse is going to go. Maybe I'll just insert a little segment into here.
Oh, on the sky wheel. Yeah.
But I don't know if you see the falls on that, but unless you have any videos.
I've got some from the other side.
Okay.
So maybe they can see the...
Just a little bit. Yeah.
Oh, yeah. That will make sense when you watch it.
And then the drive home, that was all right.
I was sleeping.
Yeah, you were.
Yeah.
But we were singing.
Oh, really? Because I missed all of that.
Yeah. And I remember it was like, have you seen the meme where it's like, you pull up to your house and you just instantly wake up because you know you're there?
No.
No?
But I get it. I get it.
Yeah, because I remember they put on a song and I was like, and then we went home. But the night didn't end there though, because we still had to, I guess, pack.
Yeah.
And we got home at midnight and we were leaving the house at...
Like a little bit after 4 a.m.
Yeah.
So you went to bed?
Yeah, because I was strategic enough to pack on the... I packed in the UK, so all my things were just in my camp bag.
I did not sleep in the night, but it was twofold. One was to pack my camp bag, but the other one was to prep food along the way because I didn't buy any food on the way there. So I was like, well, if I can save myself a little bit of money, let me pack these sandwiches and stuff to go. And the next thing, it was 4 a.m. and I was like, well,
Time to go.
we didn't sleep. Alas, we moved. We've got plenty of time on this bus to catch some Z's.
Got the foreshadowing.
Oh, the bus ride was long. It was long.
The bus turned up late, to be fair, because we were supposed to leave maybe at 6. And we left at like 7:30.
Yeah.
Because the sun was up. It was morning time.
Yeah, it actually was. It actually was.
But we got to interact with a few people that we've only spoken to on the WhatsApp group chat. And it was nice to,
you're them.
secured ourselves some good seats right at the back of the coach because I've got big legs. I need room.
No cramping here, sir.
Yeah, it was a smooth ride.
Yeah, relatively.
Interesting stops. So I wasn't totally satisfied with the stops that we made. But
in what sense?
I thought we were going to go somewhere and Chick-fil-A was going to be there, McDonald's, Burger King, all the USA greats. But no, it's just a toilet and a vending machine for most of them.
I think we can give them a bit more props than that. There were some facilities.
On the way there.
Yeah. But maybe we view this a little bit differently because in general, McDonald's, Burger King is not my portion. It's not my portion.
Fair enough.
Yeah.
But I did get my chili feast. Oh, I said that so wrong. Philly cheesesteak.
Third time's a charm.
I remember waiting in line and the bus is gotta leave in a couple of seconds.
Did we not have to run? Literally, you're running in sliders. Yeah, man.
Yeah.
But we made it.
We did. And that feeling when you're getting close to something and then you see everyone waking up and they're like, oh, we're so close, we're close. And we drive through the Camporee gates.
Yeah.
We're there.
We had arrived and the weather was hot when we'd arrived, which I was not complaining about at all because I think it's easier, far easier, in fact, to put up all of your tents and equipment when the sun is shining than when the rain is falling. So.
And it was that hot. We tried to film a time lapse and my phone was telling me it's too hot. What you doing?
Yeah.
Turn off quick. So
unfortunately, we don't have a time lapse about us putting up camp, but still captured some memories along the way.
And just setting up the tents in general. That was fun.
Yeah, it was. I feel like I disappeared from camp for a bit though.
We did because we got our...
Had to go to registration.
We had to go and, it was just so long.
Registration was actually quite a process though. That queue was long, but after all, it was a huge camporee. There was literally over 60,000 people there.
This is when we were in the queue and we're like, if we were doing a camporee, how would we make this more efficient?
But credit to all the staff involved because they have got huge workloads. It was challenging because, you're standing in that queue for a long time and it feels like the queue's not moving forward. But we eventually got our Camporee wristbands and...
I don't even think I gave you the gift bag to look.
I even forgot we got a gift bag. So there we go.
It had a newspaper. They were doing newspapers for the Camporee.
Was it a daily newspaper?
I feel like one time in our next episode, there's going to be the article in the wall somewhere.
Oh, okay, cool.
Viewers, stay tuned.
I didn't even see it.
The map, they had a full scale map with coordinates.
And road names. It was a whole thing. But it makes sense because the place is vast. And you need some efficient ways to navigate it, honestly.
At first, I saw some people on Segways and I was like, what are you doing? But then I was like, next time I go Camporee, I'm getting a Segway.
Segway, scooter, foldable bike, whatever you need to do to get around that place efficiently. Because, you'll save yourself some time if you bring yourself some wheels.
And when we were walking back to the campsite, we actually bumped into a few people from BUC.
Yeah, from our home neck of the woods. Yeah, that was nice to get to see some familiar faces in a foreign place.
And then we passed by the drilling and drumming parade square, just as a little we're going to see you tomorrow. So let's get acquainted now.
Absolutely. And then we saw a certain team from a certain place.
Okay.
Doing some certain drill.
Okay.
One of the teams that was going to be competing was having their team practice. And it was cool just to see them warming up and giving us a bit of a flavour of what we could expect. Now, it really was a closed team practice. And we kind of got there near the end. But we got to speak to them afterwards. And it was cool.
Who's the team, Jemima?
It was none other than Orion, who I've actually mentioned in a previous episode. So that was super cool having talked about them when we had Jeff on, because he asked who our favourite teams are, and I was like, drill-wise, it might be Orion. And then we saw Orion live,
we did,
which was so cool.
And it was even cooler because we saw the OGs and we saw the YGs. Or is it NGs? Old generation, young generation, OGs, YGs?
I have never heard that second term.
No. I'm just coming up. with the phrases
I'm
today.
clearly, you need to translate for me.
We saw the older generation and the younger generation. And it was nice to see that they're passing on the baton for the younger generation to do their thing.
Absolutely.
And I don't actually know what they scored or anything, but I'm sure they did well because from the practice that we saw,
they were bringing it. Yeah.
After that, went back to the campsite.
Yeah, things were pretty much set up, and then next thing it was time to go to bed.
But the storm.
How can we not talk about that storm?
I was asleep. I heard it, but this is your story to tell because
it was just quite a situation. So I wake up in the night and I'm like, that's quite loud. And I realize it's raining hard, like really hard on the tent. And we might even insert a little clip here. It would just be darkness, but just appreciate the sound. And then imagine yourself under a tarpaulin listening to that. Cool. So the rain is raining and I sit up in my bed and I'm like, can anyone else in my tent hear that? Because that's quite loud.
See, I've heard you tell this story like 2 or 3 times. Why are we so concerned if no one else heard it?
Because I'm just like, is it just me? Like maybe this is, classic behavior. But I'm struggling to think of a time when it's rained like that.
Okay.
And I've been out camping in the UK. So before long, someone else in my tent wakes up. And then it seems that the situation starts to escalate where this rain and the wind has gone to another level, such that the corner of our tent literally like starts collapsing onto one of the people in the tent. So it's like,
oh, really?
Yes. So it's like, what do we do? Because the rain is so heavy right now, but the tent is falling.
Was it the lady in the corner?
Yeah.
Oh, she must have been so shocked.
And then like all 3 of us are awake now. And it's like, what do we do? Do we need to go outside and pin it down? But then who's going outside to get soaked in their pajamas like this? No. And then the thunder is growling. The lightning is flashing. And it's like, this is the first night at camp. Is this what it's going to be? Because this is crazy. Eventually, though, things kind of settle down. The tent stops collapsing. And
praise be to God.
Hallelujah. But it's still raining pretty hard. And that thunder and lightning is still going. And then the rain stops. But then when that rain stopped, there was this final crack of thunder.
Okay.
And I have never in my whole life heard thunder like that.
Okay.
It literally sounded like explosives going off. And I'm like, this place is another level.
But you grip that taser. And then he got you there too.
Please, we know there's no taser. But yeah, it just made me think, whoa. Like nature is powerful. Yeah.
I slept through it, man. Like I woke up. I remember Cadian said, you got up, you looked around, you went back to sleep. But I did, it was loud. But I think I enjoy like the rain hitting the tent. It's very soothing to my ears. So different perspective again.
Yeah.
But it was interesting to see how when we woke up, how I guess that part of the earth just gradually warmed up. Oh my gosh, it was so hot.
Yeah. Come Tuesday, it's roasting. And where the place is, it's kind of desert-like. So you get these extremes in weather. Super hot, then it gets pretty cold at nighttime. And then you get these big storms. They even get tornadoes and stuff around there. So yeah, it's pretty intense. But Tuesday was a glorious day.
6 o'clock in the morning, I'm hearing them blare some music. And it's just on repeat. I thought I was getting tortured. But
Camporee was waking up and it was going to be a good day. And that was going to be the first day of camp activities, including drill and drum. Because we had a briefing. Yes. So we had our, I guess, conference devotion. Yes. Which was cool. It was nice to see how many people were just there. And we know there are a lot more conferences around the camp. Yeah. And we'll get to that a bit later because the opening ceremony. Oh, yeah. Yeah, ish. Yeah. So, devotion, breakfast, and we had a meeting for being a drill and drum
judge at like 11 o'clock in the morning.
I think it was 10.
10.
Yeah, but same difference. So everybody who was going to be judging or involved in the competition in some capacity came down, and then we got the briefing from the big boss as to how things were going to run. So he was explaining everything, and it was just quite a lot of information to take in for me as someone who's not done anything like that before, but he was just so supportive and just trying to make sure that everyone feels like they can contribute, that they can understand what's going on and just be involved.
And it was nice to see him, because prior to that, we had a conversation with him about this opportunity.
Yeah.
And that was a in-depth conversation. And then to see him in the US with the same passion, same energy, and like, and he was feeling a little bit sick as well, because his voice, when he had to get the megaphone, it wasn't working. He just said, take it away from me.
But he's got so much experience in running these competitions. I think he'd mentioned that he's done it for like 20 years. So yeah, so much knowledge, so much insight as to how to make a successful competition like that. And so, yeah, I think we were well prepared stepping into that role.
And we got our judges t-shirt.
Yeah.
And hopefully there will be a quick little pause. The month of September, when this podcast comes out, it will be filled with everything to do with International Camporee.
Cool.
And it relates to the t-shirts because we actually made a reel. So hopefully they'll see that at some point. Yeah. But that was quite fun.
Yeah, it was. It was. I enjoyed making that reel. And it didn't even take that long. So yeah, it'll be a fun one.
We even had the shorts because there was a specific type of uniform that we had to wear.
Yeah.
I wasn't a fan of the shorts, man.
Oh, I was vibing with the tan shorts. Yeah.
Even at the end of the camp, Greg was like, Tyreese, did you take my shorts? Because I have the same exact shorts. I was like, no, I bought them, Greg.
Just gotta be sure. Yeah. So we rocked up for judging duty for the afternoon session, and we were just straight in. Fortunately, we had quite a lot of judges, so the way they ran it is where they had two teams. So you have one team on judging, the other team like finishing off their scores, prepping for the next performance.
Wasn't there a bit of beef between blue and red team at the start?
Yeah, it's true. Like, are you blue or are you red? But yeah, all fun and games. And I feel like that was quite a nice way to get eased into the judging process, because there's all these different categories that you're scoring on. And so familiarizing yourself with how to score appropriately, I think having the extra bit of time was good.
And you're saying this experience, but this was just like the base level for us.
Oh, this is just the beginning.
But we will get into that.
Yeah, we'll get there.
But we saw a variety of teams.
So many.
And that was just to set the mark. And I remember leaving and we did a little vlog and we're like, wow, the standard out here is...
It's high.
Yeah, man.
Yeah. So many teams from different places, and you can see the different styles and different approaches to drill. And it's also nice to see that reflected in their uniforms. So you've got full Class A Pathfinder uniform, but as a drill or drum team, you can have variants, whether that be wearing an ascot instead of a scarf.
An ascot is the thing underneath the shirt?
Yeah, kind of like a neckerchief. Yeah.
Sounds so British.
But yeah, it just sits kind of just inside the collar, and people usually go for bright colors like a red or a blue. And then you've got some teams coming with caps. There was one team of all girls, which I loved, and I think they might have been from Hawaii. And they came with like flower necklaces. Yeah, and it was just so authentic. I
saw sombreros at some point just at the back of
Sombreros! Wow. Yeah. So much variation, but I think it's an opportunity for teams to just show a little bit more about who they are and what they represent.
After that, it's just dinner time. I think that's when we...
It was, but then things went left.
How could I forget?
How can you forget this one?
We had to kind of end the drilling and drumming kind of early.
With swiftness.
With swiftness, because there was at one point, there was two teams on and it was just manic.
Yeah, because people were picking up on things that we just weren't. And I think if you're local or you're used to that kind of, I'm going to call it change of events, then you'd have clocked it. And I think one of the guys on the judging team did. They were like, you can smell it.
But basically, there was a storm coming, hurricane. What was it? Storm,
yeah.
A storm coming, and out in Wyoming, they can be quite a serious thing, and especially with the thunder and the lightning and the rain from the night before. This was like a sign to say, yeah, you need to get out of here and just be safe.
Yeah.
So walking back to the campsite, I'm here seeing the buggies go past, and like everyone back to the campsite, quick. When we get to our campsite, we're being told to, I guess, pack an essential bag.
Literally.
And then we hear this. It wasn't a siren.
There was a siren that went off.
It was a siren.
At some point, there was a siren.
I just heard I remember hearing the guy saying,
on the big
"Get
announcer
to the building."
So there was this cool announcement system at camp where every so often they would announce important things. So it would be like, beep, attention all campers. And then they deliver the message. So yeah, this was quite a serious one because they're saying get into the building. And at this point, there's still sun shining, but the skies are kind of changing a little bit, and people could see, oh yeah, it's approaching. But I looked at the sky, I'm like, I can't see anything like that. At least not to the degree they were describing. But we packed this essentials bag now, and then things go from 0 to 100. Like, we were chilling at camp, let's be honest. And then it was like, kick into gear, we need to go now. And then we leave our camp with our people. And that's when I realized, there's a lot of people coming to this building, because we kind of got caught in the stream of people trying to get in through this door. And so we had to make a human train. Everyone's grabbing the next person just to try and not lose each other, because there were that many people trying to get in.
I've never done anything like that.
Not at all.
I think the only, like, what would you call it when, like, there's a weather thing that is such a... Like
weather warning? Or like extreme weather?
The only extreme weather thing I've experienced was a earthquake in Jamaica. And that was for like 0.5 of a second. And now to this, where I'm literally being gripped by you. Tyreese, don't go.
You're actually stretching because you know that didn't happen.
There was a lot of people, and I feel like if you weren't holding on to me, I would have been gone.
No, for real, because literally everyone was holding on to the next person. So yeah, like I'm holding on to the person in front of me, and I'm thinking, like, just don't let go, don't let go. And we all managed to stay together pretty much. Yeah, I think we did.
Made our way into an auditorium.
Yes.
To the top floor balcony.
Yeah.
Why is this decision?
Yeah, I think it was a pretty good spot, actually.
Okay.
Why? What are you thinking?
Maybe because it's not an earthquake, but I was saying, like, with a storm like that. But I've never experienced a storm, so I don't know.
Yeah, I think it's fine.
Fair enough.
Yeah.
Yeah, so we all make it to the top floor. And, you know, us campers singing songs.
Classic. Would it be camp if we're not singing in a crisis?
But it was good vibes though, man.
Yeah, really good vibes. Like, one song would start, the next one would start, everyone's clapping.
And then the announcements, like, is Jeremy here? Yes! That was just great, man.
Yeah, because people did get displaced from their clubs during the commotion of it all. But yeah, from what we understand, everybody who did get lost was found. And so it was happy days.
And then storm passed. I think we were in there for like an hour. Yeah,
hour and a half, something like that. So yeah, a bit of time. And you would hear the thunder growling.
Oh, on occasion, yeah.
Yeah. So then they say, okay, it's safe for us to go back to camp. Cool. So we all start leaving. And then when we came out, we were greeted.
Oh, yes.
With a double rainbow. Which was so sweet because the opening ceremony had been cancelled because of the extreme weather. And the theme of the whole camporee was believe the promise. And so in place of that opening ceremony, to have a couple of rainbows in the sky, which from the Bible, we understand that that's a sign of God's promise to never flood the earth again. It was like, wow, talk about an entrance to believe the promise camporee. Yeah, good. That's good.
So we get back to the campsite now, and our campsite's fine, but I'm hearing stories about people whose campsites were flooded. And when we spoke to the pastor on the last day, and she said that there was like 40 of them with some kids, and they had to get around because they were too far away from any building. I was like,
no, for real, they had to film it outside in that storm. Yeah, I watched some videos though following Camporee, and lightning struck a tent, I believe. Literally, it looks like it almost has like a mini explosion. Yeah. And the tent like jumps to the side. And I just thought this storm was actually on another level. There was another video I saw where like the inside of someone's tent was just flooded. They had to dry it out with a portable heater. Yeah, there was a bit of damage.
But we were fine.
Yeah, we pretty much were.
And then camp continues.
We just carried on.
So are we on Wednesday now?
Yeah.
Today?
So Wednesday was a bit more of a chill day because of, I think, the change in events. Wednesday ended up being a bit slower because they didn't start activities on site until the afternoon. So essentially that meant we had a free morning.
Okay. I'm trying to like catch up.
Trying to remember.
Yeah.
So I think Wednesday's the day that we went out pin trading.
Oh, this is when the addiction started.
What addiction are you talking about?
Okay, so context to that. Apparently pin trading has been a massive thing with Pathfinders in the US. I'll just say outside of the UK, because I haven't seen it much here.
Yeah, not really. But it's not even apparently. It is a big thing. Yeah,
it is. So a way for Pathfinders, I guess, to socialize is to be like, hey, I like your pin. I wish I had like visual representation.
We should have brought them. We actually have so many.
But they are pretty cool because some of them spin, some of them open up,
Honestly.
some of them glow in the dark.
Some of them kind of wave side to side. Yeah.
And I got given my first set of Ontario conference pins.
They were, I think, Canadian Union.
Because
they had the different Canada conferences.
So I got like 7. And
that was like your starter pack.
And I've left with like 20, 25 different type of pins now.
You had a successful time, clearly. Yeah, it's actually so much fun. And people will stop and pin trade anywhere. You're in a queue, someone just be like, are you pin trading? Yeah.
So I think everyone had the smart idea to put it on our lanyards that we had to wear. So then I guess it's like a yes or no to are you pin trading or not? Exactly. And I know that some people in our club were just using it as a lure.
Really?
Just to say, I'm not actually pin trading, but you've got something nice.
Wow. But yeah, you got to show what you're bringing to the market. So yeah, we did some successful pin trading. And then I think that's when we went around Advent Health. So Advent Health is this massive kind of network of Adventist provided healthcare. And I think they've got the majority of their institutions in Florida, but basically in various places in the US. And they have like doctors, nurses, like physical therapists, like name a healthcare profession, they probably have it. And it's a really cool kind of setup that they have where they've now got their own university and you can train with them and then like go forward to work for them. So they had this massive, I wouldn't even call it a booth. I'm going to call it an exhibition because it was big and extensive and very technical. So they had this like tunnel of light that you walk through to get in, which was
just to grope us in,
honestly, but it was cool. Let's be honest. And then they had this group game on this massive screen that you play together.
We were literally saving patients.
Honestly, by team working, it was great. And then we had a find your career thing. It was called, I think, a career mirror, where you stand in this mirror and then you pick your career.
Oh, look at me, I'm a doctor.
There we go. And then we had this virtual reality CPR training, which was wow.
Even so, with everything that we went through, it was very informative.
Yeah, very much so.
And us being, would you say you're in the healthcare field? Yeah. Me, myself, and I don't know where that came from.
All three of you.
I'm also involved in the healthcare field. And just to be able to speak about careers in a different country and to see the prices that they might pay and for them to offer for you to study, for them to fund your study and stuff like that is very tempting.
And I mean, you'll see what the Lord has for you in due course. But I think, it was very inspiring to see the other opportunities that could be available. And maybe if you're watching this, you might find that it's something for you. So I would encourage you, if you are in or want to be in healthcare and you're looking for maybe something that's a little bit different, or you want to see what opportunities there are in the US, then go check out Advent Health.
Free plug. Because they deserve it, man.
Yeah, it's really good. Really good.
So after Advent Health, also got to went to the car
NASCAR.
thing?
So Advent Health sponsor a NASCAR, and they've got a place at Daytona, which I'm like, that's so cool. Okay. So we got to half change one of the wheels on their NASCAR.
And that was a race, and I won the race, and I got a fancy pin.
Yeah, that was really cool. So then, I think from there, we probably went back to camp because we did some bits related to the Advent Health pin collection. And then we were going to go to the evening program because Tuesday's program became Wednesday's program. So we went back to camp, had dinner, and then we got our chairs and walked down to the main outdoor auditorium or amphitheater. And wow, it was like, no pun intended, or maybe it is. It was like an exodus because everybody's flocking to this place. And it's hard to describe what it's like to be in a place where there's that many people. Because as you look around, there's a lot of people, but then when you try and process, there's 60,000 people here. Huh?
It's a lot.
It's a lot of people. So when we got there, we ended up at the back.
Yeah. Is this where I had to say, no, me and Jemima came here for a purpose. We can't be at the back. Maybe I do have a creative mind in here, But no, we were with our club at the back, and it just was not giving anything at all. It was literally just audio, just sound.
Yeah, because it was difficult to see the main stage. The screens themselves were actually quite far away because there's just that many people. So we took a walk to see whether we could see any closer.
At first, it was just exploring, what is actually at the front of the stage. So we saw some people running down with flags.
Yeah.
And I'd say we joined in kind of just following the crowd.
Yeah. And it was never actually the plan to stop at the front. But we so happened to land some seats at the center aisle and we got some really good views.
And seeing as we were there, I think that's when the ceremony was actually starting.
Yeah.
Because the countdown was going on. We were crossing. And I remember everyone got their phones out and you were like, Tyreese, you gotta move, because I'm in their shot. But we were center middle.
Yeah.
And they did all the, the people came out. The intro song, that boy that sang.
Oh, wow. That boy sang.
And he sang the different language as well.
Yes. Talent.
Really set the tone for the, things to come in Camporee.
Yeah. And there were so many different items that were shared. That group that came later, I can't remember where they were from. But where they were using these instruments I've never even heard of before.
Yes. I think it was a Filipino thing because...
Maybe.
Or a cultural thing. So I remember that specific culture was like...
Yeah, it was so nice to kind of get that exposure to see how other people do things in different parts of the world.
There was a puppet show.
Yeah.
That was nice. I was like, this is going to be a little bit childish. But I was like...
There were some of those jokes that were really landed for me. I'm going, yeah.
And I was even just looking at his mouth and stuff. It's just so cool to see this. How much practice.
Honestly, being a ventriloquist is no jokes.
Jemima, are you okay? Hello.
Good try.
The drumming, there was only drumming in the evening. Actually, no, before that, it started raining.
Oh, and when it started raining,
I didn't bring a jumper. I didn't bring a coat or anything because I was like, I'm in the big sunny US.
Yeah, even that though. Next time.
Okay, because I did suffer for a little bit.
Yeah.
I remember saying, Jemima, that hat that you have, do you need it?
I'm like, my head is cold.
But we were going to head back, but we found some of our group and they were like, so what, it's raining, we want to stay. So we moved up to the front.
Yeah.
Again, and was able to catch the rest of the ceremony, which was the performance.
Yeah, I think it might have been a group from Florida that performed, and they did so good.
Is that the drumming?
Yeah. They They did
There's
really
so
good.
many of them.
Yeah, there were loads, literally loads. And they had a whole flag parade and they were shouting out every country. So that was appearing on the big screen. So yeah, that was nice to hear like all the different shouts. So you're like, oh, the Canadians are over there and this country's over here. Yeah.
And then in the midst of that, I don't even think they had a whole theatre production going on.
That stage play was amazing though. Like you can see the work that has gone in, the time. I mean, for me, just the stage itself was very well done. Like,
Did you get any videos of the stage?
I believe so, yeah. So we might just throw some of them in now. But yeah, you can tell they've taken time and thought, and they've kind of future-proofed it at the time of their production because they pre-recorded it as well. So when the weather went left, it meant that we could still enjoy the performance.
And that was basically the night. I think we did a little bit of filming that night just to say, wow.
Yeah, absolutely. So you'll get to see a little bit of what we saw live.
And then I guess we went to bed. Oh no, the hot chocolate. There was hot chocolate that night.
I think I just got a shower and dipped.
Missed out.
Apparently.
Let's not even talk about the shower and toilet situation.
Moving on to Thursday. On to Thursday.
This was when the club that we were camping with, they were involved in the drill and drum competition.
Indeed.
More specifically, the drumming competition.
Yep.
And
we were not judging for their performance.
To be fair, I did have to do their rudiments and stuff because line was just...
Oh, fair enough. But that one's not very subjective. It's really like, can you do it or can you not? Yeah.
We went there and initially I was there just to support the team. But the judges were just... There wasn't enough judges for some reason.
Yeah.
Actually, it was because the daily parades.
Oh.
So they were at the daily parades. It just didn't work out in the schedule properly.
Right,
so I jumped in with judging and I was upgraded to a protocol judge.
Wow. So let's add some context here. There are different types of judge. You've got like a general judge and then you have a protocol judge. Protocol judges focus more on the technicalities, the specifics. So they're looking for specific rudiments in drum, in drill, they're looking for specific movements. They might be looking for the order in which those movements are performed. I think within protocol as well is also timekeeping. So yeah, it's all the technical stuff. General judging is more like the effect of the performance itself. So how well the instructor conducted themselves, how well they controlled the team's rhythm, almost like their flair and their originality, that kind of stuff, which is a bit more subjective.
Being a protocol judge, I just got to see a lot more things than just being a normal judge. And I found that quite cool.
Yeah, I think I enjoyed it too because it enabled you to see the best of both worlds. Like, I enjoyed being introduced to uniform inspection.
Oh, wait, you were a protocol judge as well?
Yes, sir.
Come on!
Yeah, I got mentored through uniform inspection. And again, that was eye-opening. Seeing that, it's not just about what somebody's wearing, but also their knowledge of Pathfinders, even the like Pledge of Allegiance at a country level. So yeah, it was...
They had to do that?
Yeah. Oh. If it was selected on the
that's quite...
things to recite. Oh yeah.
I'll take the Bible verse one, please.
But yeah, it was eye-opening and I think it was nice to understand the process in a bit more detail.
And then the club that we were staying with finally performed.
They did. And they brought it. They did. It was nice to see them go from practice to then bring it on the day. Yeah, and they came first. Yeah. They did really well.
Well done, Mississauga.
Yeah,
Drum Corps.
Saga.
All girls as well.
Boom, boom, Saga. Yeah, they did really well.
Yeah. After the drill and drum competition.
Friday was kind of a wrap-up day. Oh, unless was there anything else on Thursday? But I think we actually stayed like all day on Thursday.
Yeah, we
didn't come back until like 7:30.
I remember us saying we put in a shift, man.
We did. And then we stayed chatting afterwards as well, to be fair.
Oh, yeah. Talking about hymns and stuff.
Yeah, exactly. So then, next thing was Friday. And Camporee's starting to wrap at this point because news came on Thursday about another severe storm rolling in by the Sabbath. So
if that first one was that bad,
then what was his second one going to be? So they decided everything needs to be wrapped by Friday and then people can start making their way home as they see fit. So I think some had already started to leave And so Friday, I felt like this is kind of the last hurrah. We had our parade that morning.
Mm-hmm. Oh, so many people just from that union.
Yeah, loads of people on parade. But watching it back, it's been cool.
Oh, I haven't watched it.
You haven't watched it back? So when I got home, my family were like, "We saw you on parade."
Oh.
I'm like, they watched it on the live stream, and they were like, "That's Jemima." I'm like, wow.
Okay.
So yeah, I have seen it.
You're international, man.
Well. So yeah, that was fun being on parade with those guys and just getting to experience. Yeah, this is how Camporee parades run. A lot of people to manage, but it was quite the experience nonetheless.
And obviously, Mississauga was leading out in. There were multiple drum corps, but Mississauga was first.
They brought it once again, and I cheekily,
Oh yeah.
What?
Ching.
I made it into the symbol line. Yeah, only for a little bit of the parade.
I didn't get to see that bit as much because I was getting water and stuff for everyone.
But then where did you disappear to?
I couldn't find you guys anymore.
Oh, awkward. Oh, bad. Yeah. For just a short stretch in the parade, I was in their symbol line. And then
how did you like it?
It was fun. I would play cymbals.
Team drill or team drum?
You already know the answer to the question. So I'm not going.
I'm going to put it in there somewhere.
Of course, always team drill, but I do have time for drum. I think I would like to go for cymbals next, I think, just because it's a different one. Like, I was a snare player and snare will still be top.
Okay.
But cymbals was a good vibe.
Cymbals were my roots, so I've got nothing against cymbals.
There we go.
But even speaking on that, the way the Symbolists are different from the UK, I'm talking about...
Symbolists are doing other things on the other side because wow.
Definitely stuff to learn. I may have started, but I know nothing. I'm still a student.
Honestly, they have in-depth choreography. We learned that Symbolists have rudiments too.
Crash choke. Do you know what that is? I don't.
I had to do some searching. Yeah, but it was nice to be part of the kind of drama of cymbal playing because it's a bit more shapes oriented than perhaps I've experienced before. So yeah, super fun.
And another thing on that, sunlight was reflected, man. It was shining on everyone.
They were just golden. Yeah.
I think this was also the day where we kind of split paths for the, after the drill and drum. No, after the parade.
Yeah.
You did your thing, I did mine. So
and that was that.
What did you get up to?
So I went to go and finish off my Advent Health collection.
So you got your honours. I was in a hammock, chilling. Just needed a rest day.
Yeah, sometimes you need it.
And then there was also the closing ceremony, but I stayed back to just help out with camp stuff.
And while I went down and I hung out with a group from California and they were super welcoming.
I hope you got content.
I did.
Okay.
We sat nearer the front.
Okay.
Kind of in front of where the big screens were. So the view was actually pretty good. We could insert a little bit of content here. The vibes that night were on point. So we even had snacks going on there.
Did you?
I was eating watermelon while enjoying the show. Honestly, they looked after me. So we had some more items before. We had some stories. Some of the stories around Camporee are so moving. Like there was, I think, a brother and sister from Ukraine that came and they were sharing their story and it was just so eye-opening. Like I think their dad couldn't come because of the situation that's going on there and yeah, just how much of a blessing it's been for them to be able to come and participate. And then we had praise and worship and that was really cool. And then we had the continuation of the play.
How were the plays? Did you catch?
It was good.
Like majority of them?
So I didn't make it on Thursday, but maybe half, maybe a little bit over half.
And to give a little bit of context, with the topic being Believe the Promise, and obviously we spoke about the double rainbow that we saw earlier, the plays were mainly centered around Moses and that whole story found in Exodus.
absolutely. So that was the exit stroke. So, yeah, this was bringing it all into land. I don't know what to say too much in case someone wants to watch it, but I will tell you, the finale was wow. And to be there, I've never seen a lights display like that, ever. It was so cool the way they did it in almost like a 180 experience.
Was it to do with the play?
Yeah.
Like, I need to watch it myself.
You need to watch it. It was wow. Yeah, it was wow. We sang the theme song for the final time. And then it was time to bid farewell. But they ended with this cool animation. Okay. Which was like
2029.
But they didn't just go straight there.
Okay.
So it was like Moses looking over the promised land.
Okay.
And then he turns around and meets a certain other character who the 2029 one is based around.
Can you say who?
It is public knowledge now, to be fair. The next one is going to be themed Stand Strong.
Elijah.
Okay. Yeah, it's all going to be on Elijah.
Stand Strong, though.
Yeah, Stand Strong.
Okay.
Yeah, they're going in.
I'll see you 2029?
As our good Lord wills, we will see. Yeah, so it was what is the way to describe it? It felt like a triumphant ending. Okay. Because we got to the happy ending in the story. We got the hype that it's going to be Elijah. Yeah, it just felt like a high moment. And when we were singing all together, like the atmosphere there was amazing. You'd turn around and you just see everyone shining their torches in the sky. Yeah, it was a really special time.
It's nice to be in an environment where the vibe is just the same. Like you know you're there for the same reasons. Yeah. It's embracive. It's fulfilling. Yeah. It's great.
Camporee is not something to be missed if you can make it.
I think my triumphant moment on that Friday was getting out of the hammock because the hammock was very hard to get out of. But no, I was just at camp preparing for, I guess, Sabbath, like helping out with the food. And then I was part of the important meetings because we had to figure out what we're doing that next day and on the Sunday. Yeah.
But fortunately, everybody stayed safe in our group, and I believe people were safe across the Camporee because the big storm that was going to come in, various precautions were taken, and we ended up actually leaving camp a little bit earlier. But the storm actually did not reach during Camporee time, so it ended up being a fair weather day. So fortunately, people were kept safe, which was good news. Yeah, and the next thing, it was time to get on the bus.
The storm wasn't our final battle. It was the bus.
It was the bus. Oh, the bus.
So originally, the route should have taken us 32. And you've told me, like, on the way home, maybe 2 hours get shaved off.
I reckon it was going to have been 30, mate.
42 hours.
42 hours to get home. It was a long time. We had some trials along the way, whether it was the heavy rain.
Wheel coming off.
Oh man, or the bus as a whole just breaking down, and the recovery bus gonna take 2 hours to get there.
But 2 points off that from me. We had better stops. I was happy because I got what's the Chinese place? Panda Express. Okay. I got my orange chicken. The people that know about the orange chicken. And I got a really good milkshake. People that know me know that I love my Oreo milkshakes. And I got a really good one. And my second point before I can go on about food, so let me go on. The fact that there was a point where the bus just wasn't moving anymore. And we said a little word of prayer. And I don't know what the driver did. Key in the ignition, and we ended up home, man.
We just give the Lord glory for bringing
Petrol?
us back.
No. Prayers? Yes.
Yeah, it was somewhat miraculous, to be honest, that we made it. And especially we were thinking about the time pressure because we had a plane to get on.
Yeah, man.
Yeah, but we made it back, caught some sleep, and then it was time to go and say farewell to our hosts and our great club. It was sad. It was sad.
It was. I don't think I've fully processed it because it's only been a couple of days now. But I was with a couple of our friends, and they were asking stories, and we went through the photos, and I was like, this happened.
Honestly. And the Polaroids.
Oh, yeah.
Oh.
Yeah.
I'm just glad we could capture the memories. And so that brings us to the end of this episode. Camporee was amazing, and we are looking forward to the next one.
So before you check out the rest of our videos, make sure that you like, that you comment, and that you subscribe.
And that you stay tuned throughout September, because this is going to be our Camporee recap month.
Thank you for watching, and we'll see you next time on
More Than Drill and Drum.
I'm Tyreese.
And I'm Jemima.
And today we have a very exciting episode I don't even know. Start again, please. Good afternoon, Jemima.
Oh, but then...
Hello, Jemima. You thought.